The Mar-a-Lago raid's been of particular interest to me.
Of course.
It's unprecedented. I mean, literally without precedent. We've never done this before. Regardless of anyone's personal politics, there have been paperwork disputes about this in the past. I'm not asking you to comment on the politics at all. But when FBI agents, specifically Christopher Wray and the management staff, that unquestionably are briefed in a high-profile case like this, do you think it even occurs to them that they're partaking in an act that's so overtly political it has a chance to change the politics of the United States moving forward for the negative? In other words, you think they're saying to them, Merrick Garland at DOJ, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea, or is it just we're going to be loyal little soldiers here and do what you tell us to do?
I don't want to speculate on anyone else's motivation. Sure, I know what I look at, right? I've got friends that I don't speak to after that. I assume they were part of it. It's like, I don't know what happened, but you guys forgot to throw the BS flag on that. You asked me to go raid President Obama's house. You asked me to go raid President Bush's house. It's not happening. I'm sorry, it's not happening. I'm not doing that. And I'm going to probably be pretty vocal. That's probably going to be my last day. It's not going to happen. So we had a lot of people that said yes. And I think that so much compliance got done. We talked briefly. Here's what I'll kind of share as my last kind of concern. Every single FBI agent has to go to the Holocaust Museum for a full day when we're in the academy. And they have a special program. I don't know if you've ever been to it, but it's well worth your time. If you're a law enforcement officer, you should definitely go. Go through the Holocaust Museum and see the piece they do for law enforcement specific. It's a walking tour. It's looking through the lens of how did this atrocity take place? And the only way it takes place is minor government officials are on board, and local law enforcement and state law enforcement and federal law enforcement has to say yes. Because if anybody refuses to get with the program, it doesn't happen. And the answer, I'm just following orders, the Nuremberg piece, it doesn't fly. We know better. Like, that's the whole point of history. We're supposed to be able to see that. That's why every agent has to go to that day. We're supposed to know that if they ask you to do something that's illegal, immoral, or unethical, following orders is not an excuse. It's not an excuse for me. You can't tell me to go get a vaccine that I'm not going to go get. It goes against my moral principles. I'm not doing it. You can do whatever comes next. You can ask me to do a search warrant that's not right. I'm not going to go do it because it fundamentally changes the fabric of this country. It changes the game. It puts people in play in the political arena that shouldn't be. Law enforcement shouldn't be in the political arena, number one. I think we can all agree on that. I think most Americans would stand behind that of all political inklings. And the second piece is we don't go after our former leaders and we don't go after the opposition leader. That's banana republic stuff. Everyone said it. I know you've said it too. It gets me heated to a level that I can't stand. And it's one of the reasons why when you made your appeal on your radio show, or you might have done it on your podcast, it's like America is in jeopardy. I agree. And I don't want my children to grow up in a world where that's the barrel they're looking down. I don't want my daughter to have to show up and take a pregnancy test every month because it's really disruptive, but we've already taken the COVID test every week, so why wouldn't it be a pregnancy test? I don't want my son to have to take STD tests because he was out with a weekend and sometimes guys meet girls. I don't think that's reasonable. I won't go down that line because I can see a straight path to it. And I think everybody that's honest that goes through that museum and looks at all the shoes that still smell like the people that were wearing them, and there's thousands of them in there. It changes your perspective on the entire world, on how law enforcement has an absolute responsibility to refuse things that are wrong. And we can't do it. We can't do it and have America survive the way that we grew up. And I don't want to be part of it. So.
No, you're right. I mean, I said today on the show, and I guess we can leave it here, that even the President of the United States doesn't have the power to take your life or take your freedom. GS 1811, FBI agents, Secret Service agents, DEA, they do. That was a clip from the Dan Bongino Show. You can watch the full show. We recommend you do on Rumble. Go to rumble.com/Bongino, please, and subscribe for free. We appreciate it.